It's $1 million government job, and to most people that sounds impossible. That's more than the governor makes, even the president of the United States. But you are about to see how the 11 Alive investigators found one small county is paying just that, a year, to its county attorney.
What in the world is happening in our county?
It's a big question, directed at a small county board of commissioners.
I think it's outrageous.
In Newton County, the outrage surrounds this man, County Attorney Tommy Craig. The county paid his private law firm $1.1 million last year.
Do you think that's an appropriate amount?
Yes and no.
Yes and no? We took a look at county records, and they show Craig's income is sky high compared to other county officials.
But you're not going to say one way or the other whether you think $1.1 million is a reasonable expense?
They reappointed Mr. Craig a couple of weeks ago.
I understand that, but I'm asking you for your opinion. These are taxpayer dollars.
Our questions came after a large group of vocal citizens asked theirs by writing letters to the board.
Anyone else tonight?
Speaking at meetings.
You don't listen to your constituent.
And taking part in a poll the local paper conducted on whether Craig should keep his job. The results were overwhelming.
People of Newton County unequivocally said, we don't want him.
Still, the board voted unanimously in January to reappoint Craig to his 39th year as county attorney.
You have 100,000 people living in Newton County, and you're paying your county attorney $1.1 million.
It is a lot of money.
But several board members say Craig is asked to do too much, so the problem is really the board's to address, if they can manage to put it on the agenda.
I don't set the agenda.
Well, you can set the agenda. You're a commissioner. You can put something on the agenda if you want.
No. It has to be two commissioners. Where our agenda set up, three commissioners to put someplace on the agenda. You just can't go out and put something.
Commissioner, is that your excuse for not addressing why the county spent $1 million on their county attorney this year?
I believe he's earned it.
Because you couldn't put it on the agenda?
No, I believe he has earned it.
So how is he earning it? Billable hours. Unlike many other county attorneys, Craig is not salaried. He's billing the county for every hour he works, hours he also accrues from other jobs he does for the county. Besides county attorney, Craig is also a water consultant and project manager for the county's development of a new reservoir. Citizens question those roles too. 17 years and 21 million county tax dollars into the project. There's no reservoir and no federal permit needed to build it.
I don't think we're getting our money's worth.
Citizens also question why Craig hasn't used those earnings to pay off the half a dozen IRS liens attached to his assets. According to public court records, those federal income tax liens add up to several $1 million. Craig's attorney tells us he's made significant progress to settle the debts, but wouldn't provide an exact amount.
You're paying him $1 million of county tax money. Don't you think you should pay someone who is in turn paying their own taxes?
Well, maybe that's something that we maybe need to have a work session about and talk about. But at present, I personally say that it's his own personal business.
It seemed Mr. Craig didn't want to talk about it. He missed the last county board meeting and didn't respond to our multiple requests for an interview.
Mr. Craig?
We decided it was time to catch up with him at his law firm.
I'm Katie Beck. I'm from 11 Alive. I've been trying to get in touch with you. We're doing a story about the fact that you earned $1.1 million from the county last year. We have a number of other questions we'd like to talk to you about. Should we just wait here? Sir, you're an appointed official. You should answer these questions.
He locked it too.
We also wanted to ask Craig about his ties to Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle. Besides being a donor to Cagle, Craig was on his steering committee for re-election, and Cagle appointed Craig to a state water board in 2007. When we asked for comment on Craig's appointment, the Lieutenant Governor's office told us they have accepted Craig's resignation from that board, and the Lieutenant Governor was unaware of his personal financial situation. We'll continue to follow the story. Katie Beck, 11 Alive News.
All right, folks, it is time now for you to weigh in. Do you have any questions about what you just watched? If so, you can live chat right now with our investigative team on 11alive.com. They are sharing what you did not see in the story, and you can find the link right on our homepage. 11 Alive investigators showed you a local county attorney earning $1.1 million a year, and that story has gotten a huge reaction from many of you asking us to dig more, and we have done so. 11 Alive's Katie Beck joins us now. And Katie, last night you actually told us that a lot of folks were questioning how tax dollars could actually be spent this way.
Right, and what we're about to tell you is going to raise even more questions and red flags for folks. It turns out that $1.1 million is only part of the Newton County attorney's income. He's at the same time been making millions more from governments across the state.
We're doing a story about the fact that you earned $1.1 million from the county last year.
We're still getting no answers from the man behind the Newton County controversy.
Should we just wait here? You should answer these questions.
A county attorney who's earning what many call an outrageous amount. Even county board members who approve his billable hours think so.
Is $1.1 million an outrageous amount of money to you?
It is a lot of money, and it's a lot of money being spent by the citizens of Newton County, and it needs to change.
But the board wasn't ready for change a few weeks ago when they unanimously appointed Tommy Craig for a 39th year in office, despite a vocal cry against it from local citizens.
You have to ask the question, what is wrong with the picture?
Also part of that questionable picture, millions of dollars in tax liens tied to Craig's assets for his unpaid income taxes.
It seems completely outrageous to me.
Craig's also a water consultant for Newton County for their project to build a new reservoir. We're now uncovering that Craig's government tax dollar earnings from water consulting go well beyond Newton County. While county attorney, he's made millions from other counties across the state. Environmental advocate Sally Bethay says she's seen it firsthand.
Somehow, Mr. Craig and others have been able to convince local governments to pay tens of millions of dollars to get these projects going.
While county attorney, Craig has consulted for at least a half a dozen jurisdictions on reservoir projects and has current contracts as well. We know between 2009 and 2012, Craig earned over $1 million from Hall County. They cut his contract and still have no reservoir or permit to build one. Paulding County also cut ties with Craig on their reservoir project. That was after 5 years of paying him $20,000 a month. Still today, no reservoir and no permit. And just in the month of January 2015, Craig billed a monthly charge of $48,000 to a South Fulton Water Authority. It's made up of 3 small cities, and those cities have paid Craig more than $2 million over the last 4 years.
Who's making out like a bandit? It's the consultants, Mr. Craig and others. And I just personally think that's wrong.
Now, at a recent Newton County board meeting, Craig released that about 21 million tax dollars have been spent on the county's reservoir project so far. That project has been going on for 17 years. Still no reservoir and still no permit needed to build one.
So is the board asking any questions?
Well, I think that's what citizens are most frustrated about is the accountability here. With that unanimous approval, I don't think it looks like they're asking much.
All right, Katie Beck. Katie, thank you for that story. I want to get back to that breaking news that we brought.
Investigators first brought you back in February. A small county paying more than $1 million a year in legal fees to their county attorney. The report caught the attention of county commissioners, but has it prompted any action on their part? Well, tonight, the 11 Alive investigators return to Newton County to find out.
Questions.
Y'all should ask for his resignation.
Crowds. And the county attorney. It's the story we first told you in February. We exposed Newton County Attorney Tommy Craig and his firm.
I'm Katie Beck. I'm from 11 Alive.
For billing the county $1.1 million in legal fees during 2014.
You're an appointed official. You should answer these questions.
We were told by county commissioners
He locked it too.
the issue would be reviewed.
In the future, you're going to look at it.
You heard it tonight. We're going to look at it in the very near future.
But it's been 3 months.
There's been a lot of discussion and not a lot of action.
It's about to start. Thank you.
At the rate Craig is billing currently, his firm will make even more from the county in 2015 than it did last year.
We need some bold action.
as far as this is concerned.
We discovered records from neighboring counties show Newton's legal fees are 3 and 4 times higher than most others.
Spending by the county right now is out of control.
Craig also bills hours as a water consultant for the county. Residents say his lack of results need to be questioned in that department. Roughly 17 years, Craig has worked on getting a permit to build the Bear Creek Reservoir in Newton County.
Apparently, it's proceeding under the radar. We have heard no discussion about it whatsoever.
Reports show the county has spent more than $21 million so far on that project, and still no permit and no news except bad news. Minutes from a recent Army Corps of Engineers meeting with Craig shows they question the work that's been done so far on the project and even the need for a reservoir at all.
Until the need is better verified, I don't think anybody thinks we need to go forward with it.
And I always wondered why.
So we're outside the latest budget meeting looking to commissioners for answers.
Katie Beck, 11 Alive. How you doing?
Good.
It appears the commissioners have been talking about a cap on the legal fees.
Can you talk to us about the $800,000 cap on the legal fees?
At least 3 support capping it at $800,000 a year.
I mean, does $800,000 seem like a reasonable amount?
Well, I tell you, it's something I'm looking at.
You have a quick second to talk to us?
It's a touchy subject.
Good. Wait, we actually have a couple questions for you.
That has the commission divided.
Is that something you support?
I do not support that at this time.
But not for residents. They say the reduction hardly seems reasonable.
Do you think that's reasonable?
Well, it's a 33.5% reduction.
It's
from what has
$800,000. I mean, do you think that's reasonable?
I think $800,000 is still much too high, especially if you can do an in-house counsel at $500,000.
These residents are refusing to stop searching for answers until they've opened every door possible. Several county employees who spoke to us for this story also pointed out that Newton County gave all employees a 1% raise in 2015. That was the first one in several years. The county attorney's fees, however, have gone up 13% in the past 2 years. Katie Beck, 11 Alive News.
11 Alive investigates a man who's no stranger to controversy.
And he's a bully. He is a true bully.
The $1 million Newton County attorney.
He said, if you don't sell us this property, we're going to condemn it.
Tonight, we hold the powerful accountable.
Do you have a couple minutes to talk to us after the meeting?
About to start. Thank you.
Tonight, millions of county tax dollars were spent on thousands of acres of land, all for a project now going nowhere.
And the man leading that project is at the center of a continued 11 Alive investigation. In February, we exposed that Newton County attorney, Tommy Craig, was billing the county over $1 million a year. Part of his billable hours came from time spent on a reservoir project that he's been leading now for over 15 years. 11 Alive's Katie Beck holds the powerful accountable.
And she says his stalled project has cost more than just money.
$22 million has been spent, but there's an emotional cost to this project. For many of the 80 families forced to sell their land for the reservoir, the price of stolen dreams is immeasurable.
He said, if you don't sell us this property, we're going to condemn it. Just like that.
And just like that, condemned. 15 acres of farmland and Rita McBride's dreams for it.
We were going to live in the middle and have both of our children on either side and our grandchildren, and it was just going to be our own little community. Until something more powerful comes along than Tommy Craig, he'll never leave.
The McBride family is one of more than 80 who had to surrender their land under eminent domain to the Bear Creek Reservoir project, a project led by Newton County Attorney Tommy Craig.
They have thrown people off of their property, people who have lived there and had no place else to go, out.
Many found themselves up a creek and had to give in. Some, like McBride, fought and were paid fair market value for the land, with a buyback clause if the reservoir fell through. Only now, years later, the land is worth much more. McBride can't afford to buy it back.
He's very powerful, and he's a bully. He is a true bully.
Because Craig didn't need or even try to get McBride's approval. All he needed was the support of the county board. Commissioners, many no longer serving, gave Craig authority time and again to seize the land and the power to condemn it by passing resolutions like this one, condemning McBride's land.
You condemned my land. You condemned my land. So that something could be done for the public good. 15 years ago. Nothing's been done.
4,000 acres of land acquired. More than 15 years pass by and nothing has been built.
I see that land every time I go in and out of here. I think we could be living there with our daughters.
The project can't break ground without a permit, and the permitting body, the Army Corps of Engineers, has continually found flaw in Craig's plans. In August, they brought the permitting process to a screeching halt. They withdrew the county's application for stating, among other things, that Craig had not shown population estimates to show a need for the reservoir.
We pay this man millions and millions of dollars over the years, and we have nothing to show for it.
Citizens have been questioning the process, Craig's county paychecks, and the reservoir project for years.
We've wasted the taxpayers' money.
Records show Craig makes millions of dollars, tax dollars, from counties across the state. While Craig did obtain permits on some reservoir projects, several area counties spent $1 million before ultimately releasing him and still await a permit.
How are you, Commissioner?
Yet some Newton County commissioners believe waiting is key and a permit will come.
I personally think anything worth having, you have to work for it.
We wanted to hear what county attorney/water consultant Tommy Craig had to say, but he wouldn't talk to us about his earnings.
Mr. Craig, I'm Katie Beck. I'm from 11 Alive. I've been trying to get in touch with you.
And again, he declined to speak to us about the project.
Do you have a couple minutes to talk to us after the meeting?
About to start. Thank you.
But this is a man responsible for spending more than $22 million tax dollars on a now dead project. So we tried again, found him at a board retreat in Covington. With an hour still left in the meeting, he notices us and attempts to leave. We watch as a board member, Levy Maddox, takes Craig's keys and moves Craig's blue Tahoe behind the building for a backdoor exit.
Is this really happening? Is he pulling his car around? Is he going around the back? Hey, is that your car? No, it's not your car. You actually lied to me, and I'd like to talk about that. Why did you tell me that was your car when it wasn't?
I think you misunderstood me.
No, I didn't. We have it on camera. You said yes,
no,
and it's not your car. What do you mean, no thank you? You're an elected official. Why don't you answer some questions? And why are you protecting the county attorney during business hours?
Craig left his car and got picked up, and Maddox never did answer why he was moving a car owned by Tommy Craig. But it's clear neither wanted to comment on it or the halted reservoir project.
You feel like this is the same routine that they've been running on all the neighbors?
I know it is.
15 years later, it's hardly water under the bridge for Rita McBride and for many of her neighbors.
They all had dreams for that property. Tommy Craig didn't give a damn. I don't know how else to say it. He took my dream. He took our dream. He took my children's dream.
In October, the county board voted to stop all spending on the reservoir project. Now, thanks to reservoir expenses and Craig's billable hours on it, the county is $35 million in debt. Meanwhile, Craig billed the county for more than $92,000 in the month of September alone. Katie Beck, 11 Alive News.
11 o'clock, $1 million county attorney ousted after nearly 4 decades. It comes after a series of 11 Alive investigations holding the powerful accountable.
Absolutely. Our Katie Beck has been following this story from the very start. She joins us from Newton County with details of tonight's major development in this case. Katie?
Well, Brenda, this massive change in comes just 1 week after the latest report on Tommy Craig. In that report, we detailed how he spent $22 million tax dollars on a project now going nowhere. Well, today, citizens of Newton County came to protest in front of the courthouse, demanding that the board place Craig at his job. Many of them were holding up signs that were asking how it's possible that this county attorney has billed them over $1 million a year in legal fees and been able to keep his job at the same time. Well, tonight he could keep his job no more. Watch as the board votes to hire a new county attorney.
All in favor? All opposed? The motion passes 4-1.
I'm happy he is gone. I'm probably one of the happiest people in Newton County.
I'm ecstatic. I'm really pinching myself because this is a very, very important day in Newton County history, a day that's been being called for by citizens and stalwart pillars of our community for many years.
Now, the board specifically voted to hire new in-house counsel, which means there will probably be no more billable hours in this position. As for Tommy Craig, he addressed the board briefly, thanking them for allowing him to serve as county attorney, and then made an immediate exit. We're going to be doing a much more in-depth wraparound of this report tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Be sure to join us then.
Yeah.
For now, I'm live in Newton County. Katie Beck, 11 Alive.
A huge development. I know, Katie, you've been following this story for many months, and so to see the resolution of it come like this. All right, Katie, thanks so much.
He was Newton County's attorney for 39 years, but last night he lost his job. Controversy surrounded Tommy Craig for years, but especially after a recent series of 11 Alive investigations. Just 1 week since our latest report, and last night the county board voted to hire new in-house counsel.
Now, our first reports questioned how Craig was able to bill Newton County more than $1 million a year in legal fees. But that was just a start for the digging that our 11 Alive investigator Katie Beck did. She joins us now with more.
Well, Brenda, while Craig was making millions of tax dollars, he was also spending millions more on a reservoir project for the county that's now shut down. Last week, we reported that the project took 4,000 acres away from Newton County families, and that for many was simply the last straw.
Not worth it.
Tommy Craig has got to go.
Waste of money.
For years, Newton County citizens have said their county board is ignoring all the signs.
Hey, oh, Tommy Craig has got to go!
Signs pointing to County Attorney Tommy Craig.
When you look at what the county's spending on legal, it's an exorbitant amount.
Craig bills the county over $1 million a year and has also spent $22 million in county money over the last 15 years, leading a reservoir project that's now dead in the water.
This is a battle that's been going on forever, and we need new representation in this county.
Before yesterday's board meeting, many citizens made their signs impossible to ignore. There were only 2 signs in favor of Craig, but weren't in favor of talking to us about it. Why do you think Tommy Craig's a good county attorney?
I don't have no comment.
You're holding a sign that has his name on it, and you can't answer the question?
I don't have no comment.
Or even tell us where the printed signs came from. Who made those signs?
I don't know.
You don't know who made the sign you're holding?
No, I don't.
The 2 protesters left before the meeting started, but other citizens, some who had been standing in front of the courthouse since noon, came to face the board.
I care about Newton County. I care about Newton County. We fought this 20 years ago. Tommy Craig's still here.
The line was long to get in, and seats inside filled up quick. Again, signs hard to ignore. Craig got a chilly reception as he took his seat. And business went on as usual until this.
I believe it is in the best interest of Newton County to create an in-house legal department.
With little discussion, a vote to hire a new county attorney.
The motion passes 4-0.
Craig said a brief thank you to the board for allowing him to serve and then made an immediate exit, leaving his chair and his job open.
39 years I've been waiting for this. 39 years.
I think we won a battle. Now we have to go win the war.
It seems now the focus has shifted for many in the crowd from an ending to a beginning.
I'm ecstatic. I'm really pinching myself because this is a very, very important day in Newton County history.
You feel like you have hope now?
Oh, a huge amount of hope and unlimited possibilities.
Wow.
Yeah, that's big.
It is big. The other part of this decision last night, guys, was to move all of the county's legal records out of Tommy Craig's personal office and back into the government building. So they said that's going to happen by January.
Oh, these are all big moves. So, got to ask, is there an opening now for a county attorney?
There is, and there will be an actual posting, I'm told, by this Friday. They're going to post the position and start taking applications.
All right, what has the response been? I'm sure it's been a little sided, both sides.
Well, we've heard a lot from folks today with positive energy. They really feel like they've been heard, that the government's been responsive, and when there's so much controversy surrounding one person, to have that sort of removed from the equation, I think people feel like there's going to be a good chance of moving forward.
Yeah, it took some digging and
certainly.
holding a lot of people accountable and asking some really hard questions. Thank you so much.
All right, Katie, thank you. Good job to the 11 Alive investigation.
After 39 years, Newton County is hiring a new county attorney. This massive change in leadership comes after the 11 Alive investigators aired several reports questioning former attorney Tommy Craig. The reports detailed the county more than $1 million a year in legal $22 million project in the county that was shut down 15 years later. One woman says she's never gotten over what that project took from her, but given the recent change, she's finding hope. Here's 11 Live's Katie Beck.
Rita McBride was one of 80 families who was forced to give up property for that $22 million reservoir project. Her land was taken 15 years ago, but when we met her several weeks ago, it was as though it had just happened.
You condemned my land. You condemned my land. So that something could be done for the public good. 15 years ago. Nothing's been done.
Rita McBride's passion, her anger, and her loss came through with powerful force. To watch her interview from a few weeks ago, it was hard not to feel her pain.
Tommy Craig didn't give a damn. I don't know how else to say it.
For 15 years, grieving the loss of her land and a dream to one day put her children on it. The failed county reservoir project that snatched it, now put on a shelf. She and many others blame the man leading the project, County Attorney Tommy Craig. After our report in November, McBride was cautiously optimistic about a change.
I had a lot of hope, but I didn't have very much expectation.
Tommy Craig has got to go.
But 1 week after the story aired, change came. After 39 years as county attorney, the board voted to replace Craig.
In 1 week, it's incredible the things that are being stopped.
McBride is referring to Craig's projects and his paychecks. He billed the county over $1 million in legal fees last year. Before now, public outcry on the matter did little to move county board members.
An awful lot of them went along with all these bad projects for an awful long time.
McBride says she's still in disbelief that the county will hire a new attorney, but it's official. The job posting for new in-house counsel is up, and the salary almost 10 times less than Craig was being paid.
Hopefully it's going to pay off our debt. That's the first thing we have to do, is pay off our debt.
Hopefully is how McBride will move forward. Feeling like more positive changes are certainly on the horizon.
But this could absolutely be like Newton County starting anew. I'm really excited about that. There's no telling what Newton County can do.
The posting for a new county attorney is on Newton County's website. The board has also ordered that all of the county's legal files be returned from Craig's office within the month. Katie Beck, 11 Alive News.
You can read our previous stories tracing the 11 Alive investigation into Tommy Craig's billing and spending practices online at 11alive.com, and there you can also watch videos, view photo galleries, and find out much more.